So for more on this, we've reached Rafe Hadel-Mancu in London. He is a royal historian and broadcaster. Rafe, thank you for making time for us.
Always a pleasure.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what your take is on of course, the interviews that we're seeing, but the contents of the book titled Spare.
Yes, well, I would have to say that it's gone down rather badly here in the UK. I'd say it's backfired, at least up until the interviews came out. I think the interviews perhaps show Prince Harry in a bit of a softer light than the leaked allegations and accusations, which really shocked the entire nation. People aren't really used to seeing members of the royal family described in this way, and we've just had a poll out today which has shown support for various members of the royal family, most notably Prince Harry, plummeting. So Prince Harry's approval rating is now a meager 26%. But more worryingly, and quite unfairly, given that they haven't had a chance to actually put their own cases forward, the impact of this book has had a very negative effect on Prince William and the King. Prince William riding high at 84% this time last year, now down to 69%, and the King standing at 70% when he took to the throne in September. He's now down to 60%, which is actually quite worrying given the fact that we're only 4 months away from the coronation. And this period that we're in, the period between the death of the Queen, his accession, and the coronation, is always supposed to be the period where the King reintroduces himself to the nation and indeed to all of the Commonwealth realms, including Canada, of course, where he's not known as well as he is here, of course. It's an occasion for the King to renew the bond and the contract between the Crown and the people and to put his own stamp on the monarchy. And that's all been completely overshadowed by these squabbles with Prince Harry and Prince Harry's allegations. And really, we're only 4 months away from the coronation. And I think the Royal Palace, in a way, is very good not to be replying and responding to these allegations and just getting on with their job.
But to that very point, I suppose it appears that by Harry's actions, to a degree, royal protocol may have been broken because, of course, he's really pulled back the curtain on what is described from his point of view, what he says is happening, behind closed doors with the royal family. So then, would it be perhaps a possibility that we might see the other royals, as you've mentioned, break sort of with tradition, so to speak, and give a response in order to defend themselves if they do feel that these allegations are false?
No, I mean, one of the things that Prince Harry has been upset about is the fact that he said the palace never defended Meghan. But, I mean, if anything, this episode has shown that they don't even defend themselves. So why Harry is surprised that there weren't more forthright public statements whenever he felt Meghan was being attacked. I mean, this book has just proven the opposite case, in fact, that the palace never complain. They never explain, as the Queen famously said. And I think by rising above it, they're actually, and not getting down into this back and forth of scandalous tittle-tattle, I think it's doing them the best job that they can do. What they're being seen to do is to rise above it, to get on with their duties and their responsibilities, to be seen to being good, whilst other people are having, some sort of a temper tantrum and actually trying to ensure that they can create the most positive atmosphere that they can in these next 4 months as we run up to the coronation.
Now, Rafe, in terms of the, anecdotes that we've heard from the book, wondering what is really making or capturing the most headlines in the UK in terms of those details. Some that were leaked when the book first came out accidentally last week. And then in the course of the interviews, you said that those interviews allowed Harry to sort of be taken in a softer light. So wondering what allegations really stood out and how the interviews changed how Harry is viewed.
Well, I would, in a softer light, amongst two demographics, amongst the young, which is where most of his and Meghan's support lies, and also in North America, where, again, that's his sort of the heartland of support. When you only have 26% of the nation of Britain supporting you, it's really pretty much of a lost cause. I think the British people have given up on Harry and Meghan, and I think they're fully aware of that. And so these documentaries and the book and the interview are really all targeted towards the American market. And you're seeing that with a lot of the California speak that now infuses his phrases, and indeed that Netflix documentary too. But in terms of the actual interview, of course, we're all aware of the book, but in the interview, the way that he described Queen Camilla as being, a villain, dangerous, leaving bodies in the road. This was quite outrageous, and I think really unforgivable. And for the king, criticisms and attacks on his wife are a red line. And for Harry to actually suggest that he shouldn't have married the Queen, I think is quite outrageous, given that he wasn't willing to take any advice on his own marriage to Meghan. And here he is saying that it was a bad decision for the king to marry her. I mean, Harry's 38 years of age now. To think that a man wouldn't marry his true love, especially when you're going to become king and you need to be queen. And there are quite some surreal moments in this. He was asked by Anderson Cooper on his 60 Minutes show whether he felt he was being particularly scathing towards his family. And he said, no, he wasn't being scathing. And in the same interviews yesterday, he called his stepmother, as I said, a villain and dangerous, leaving bodies in the road. He said that his family were getting into bed with the devil and that they were complicit in the pain and suffering caused to Meghan. Now, I don't know what dictionary Prince Harry uses, but I would think those are pretty scathing ways in which to refer to your own family, and how he thinks he could possibly hope for a reconciliation in the near future, having really burnt these bridges that he has done, boggles the mind. The other thing that he spoke about was, of course, he said almost magnanimously, oh, the royal family aren't racist. And when he spoke to Oprah Winfrey and said that there was discussion about what color his child would be coming from a mixed marriage, there became a global firestorm around the palace being racist, about the royal family being racist. Who was the racist member of the royal family who said this? And he never once took an opportunity to correct the record for all of those months. Even during the Oprah interview, he could have done it. But all those months later, when there was global outrage and speculation about who was the racist in the royal family, he said nothing until today. And I think that's quite unforgivable. And, he just won an award last month in America. The Kerry Kennedy presented him with the Kennedy Foundation Award for fighting systemic racism in the royal family. And yesterday he'd said that there wasn't any racism there, just unconscious bias. So why on earth would you accept this award? It's a very sort of disturbing set of events for many people in the UK.
Well, for certain, there is a lot to dissect and analyze there. Thank you so much for your time, Rafe.
Thank you.
Rafe Hadelman-Koo joined us from London. He's a royal historian and broadcaster. Thank you.